In under 1 month since being released on Netflix, Cowboy Bebop, the live action series, has officially been canceled. It's not that I didn't see this coming, but I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. This came in and came out like within a month's time. That is absolutely insane. Usually it's something that would happen like a couple months later. It would be casually mentioned somewhere, like, you know, notoriety wouldn't really be given to it. But this is all over right now. This came out last night. I haven't had a chance to comment on it till right now. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop has officially been canceled after being out for less than 1 month. So before I get into this article, this is Hollywood Reporter, which is probably the highest, grade article that you're going to find on it. I'm sure tons of websites have done articles on it, but I'll read it from here. But before I get into it real quick, I just want to say that if you've watched my videos of my coverage of the Cowboy Bebop series before it came out, talking about the controversy, talking about the set photos and stuff like that, I don't see how anybody could get out of my videos that I wanted this to fail, because that absolutely is not the case. In every single video before the release of the series, I said that I was going to go into this from a very neutral perspective and give it a chance. I even said that I really liked the cast. Actually, even watching the episodes that I watched, I made a video review of the first 3 episodes, and then I kind of dropped it, but I actually did watch the first 6 episodes. So I made it 2/3 of the way through, basically. I want to say that I actually liked a lot of the actors that are in this. I think John Cho, though I admit, with the criticism of him being a little bit too old, I get that, but whatever. I think he actually pulled off the character of Spike pretty good. I think the actor that did Jet did a pretty good job. The actress that did Faye was okay in my opinion. The only one that I didn't like was Vicious and Julia. And obviously the characters that they absolutely butchered, like Gren, where they just didn't understand the core concept of his character and just wanted to change it for points, but I already talked about that in the review video. I also thought a lot of the aesthetic of the show was really good. I think that there was a lot of things that they captured from the anime, like stuff that was going on in the casino and different ways that the technology worked and everything like that. So there were things about it that I enjoyed. Having said that, though, just like I said in my last review, there were core concepts of what this series is that they completely changed just to suit a new story, a new narrative that they were trying to tell, which was not fitting very well. It wasn't working right, because you can't really change the core concept of who a character is, like with the Vicious character and Julia. And I get that they were trying to do their own thing and make their own story, and I was okay with that. I was like, whatever. If you don't want to just adapt like the episode by episode format and you want to make your own storyline with it, I get that. But there are core assets to who these characters are that if you change them, they are no longer those characters. And that's why I was really upset about seeing Vicious turn from a cold, uncaring, brutal, intimidating villain to basically just a guy with an inferiority complex that has to prove himself all the time. And I'm not saying even if Vicious in the anime was like that a little bit, he did it in a very stylistic, cool, covert way, whereas the Vicious in the live action series is just so bombastic and weird and making strange faces and stuff like that. He was not an intimidating character at all. And there's other characters that they ruined along the way too. But back to my original point, if you watched all of my past videos, you know that I went into it with a neutral perspective. I didn't want to hate it, but I didn't go into it wanting to like it either. I went just to see what would happen with this live action series. And when it comes to live action anime adaptations, I don't necessarily hate the idea. I think there are some that it's probably a bad idea to try to do a live action version of, because some things just work way better in animation. There's some things that you cannot adapt, that you can't transfer, that just won't make sense the same way as it does in animation. And there's something that's majorly lost in translation once you change mediums. It's a little bit easier to go from a manga to an anime, but there's still major differences. And then when you go from an anime, and I'm not talking about story differences, I'm talking about just the experience of the medium. It's different reading a comic than it is to watch an anime, and just the same, it's different watching a live action. So sometimes these adaptations just really sort of lose something within that process. And Cowboy Bebop is one of those examples where maybe it had pure intentions. Maybe they're let's take this really great property, let's introduce it to a new audience, let's try to do something strange and different with it in live action, but without taking account of what that means for what Cowboy Bebop is and what these characters are and what they stand for. And with the fan base in itself, now I know a fair amount of people that watched it and didn't mind it, and they thought it was okay. But having it just be okay, is that really enough? With Cowboy Bebop, which is probably what I consider a 10 out of 10 anime, I think it's one of the greatest of all time. Keep in mind, I have nostalgia bias with it, but I absolutely do think it's a piece of artwork. I think it's absolutely untouchable. You have that standard to live up to, which is admittedly an impossible standard. And then you also have, I know some people that never heard of Cowboy Bebop before, didn't know what it was, and liked it. There was somebody that I work with that was talking about how much she liked it, and we had a casual, normal conversation about it. I was just telling her about why I didn't, and how it stacks up to the anime. She'd never seen the anime, doesn't watch anime, but watched the live action. We had a good conversation back and forth, and I'm totally cool with the fact that she liked it. I'm not out there trying to convince people not to like it. I think you should make up your own opinion. You should watch it if you want to watch it, or don't. It doesn't really matter to me. Don't take my word for it. Go watch it for yourself. But there are definitely reasons why I didn't like it, which I've gone over in my last 2 videos on this, so I'm not going to restate all that now. But it was it was hated enough that now it's getting canceled after just 1 season, which, from what I hear, there's a major cliffhanger ending at the end of season 1 where they sort of switch. Can I do spoilers? I'm going to do spoilers. I don't care. I didn't even watch that far, but I saw that basically they do the church cathedral scene that's in episode 5 of the anime, except instead of Vicious knocking Spike out of the window, it's Julia, and then she puts Vicious in a cell or something, and she's the one that's betraying the Red Dragons. I don't really know. They threw a twist in there to make it different, but it is what it is. But now that twist and that cliffhanger is going to last forever because they're never going to make new episodes. And let's see what it has to say here. So The Hollywood Reporter, I'll link this down below. And this is by James Hibbard. And he says, it debuted on November 19th. Barely even a month ago. And he says the space western had a rough reception. The 10-episode series garnered only a 46% positive critic rating on a review aggregator on Rotten Tomatoes. Fans seem to agree, giving the show a 56 positive audience score. That seems about right. Audience to Netflix top 10 site. The series had racked up almost 74 million viewings worldwide in its debut. So it got plenty of samplings out of the gate, but it plummeted 59% from the first week to the second week. So that's pretty significant. He goes on to say, the insiders pointed out that Netflix renewal rate for subscripted series have 2 or more seasons stand at 60%. So it just missed the barrier to get a second season. In line with the industry averages, like all Netflix renewal verdicts, the decision was made by balancing the show's viewership and cost. The streamer also prides itself on taking big swings at projects like Cowboy Bebop and many other genre shows. So it goes on to talk about other live action anime. Talks about why the fuck did I say anime? Why did I say it like that? That's fucked up. So it goes on to talk about 2009 Dragon Ball Evolution, which, by the way, if you guys have not seen Dragon Ball Evolution, it's fucking horrible, but it is also one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. The actor that plays Yamcha, just he just makes me crack the fuck up, and Justin Chatwin is the worst actor ever. I'm not saying he's the worst actor ever, but in that movie specifically, he is the worst actor ever. It's actually kind of fun to watch. Talks about 2017's Ghost in the Shell. I'm in the minority. I actually did enjoy that movie quite a bit. I can't lie. And Death Note, which I have not seen, but I plan to watch now that I've finished the anime. So I'm curious. I'm going to watch the live action Death Note, and I might review it. And then it says the biggest success so far is probably 2019's Alita Battle Angel. Yes, which is an awesome movie. I definitely implore all of you guys to watch Battle Angel. It is really, really, really good. Which pulled in a sizable foreign grosses as well, if not domestic. Cowboy Bebop star John Cho, Mustafa Shakir, Daniela Pineda, which I still think she's fine as hell. I don't care. She can be sassy. That's fine. I'll handle it. AKA the Cowboys all trying to outrun the past. Yada yada yada. Talks about the kind of a synopsis of the series. And that it was based off the 1998, yada, 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 yada. Okay, so that's basically what it says. So, yeah, long story short, after less than a month, Cowboy Bebop is done, and it's finished, and this was really, really fast. Though I guess there have been instances where shows announced that there was a season 2 right after season 1, but that's if the show does positively. Usually if it's negative like this, it's something that's sort of swept underneath the rug a little bit. Like, yeah, we don't need to talk about our failures too much. But this was big. I mean, and this was big. And again, like I said, if you liked season 1 of the live action, I got no problem with that, man. Everyone is free to like what they like. I don't care. I'm not a dictator. I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't give a fuck what you guys like. I came into it with a neutral perspective, and you guys know this. Ever since they started releasing information on this live action, I have been following it because Cowboy Bebop is my second favorite anime of all time. It's extremely close to my heart. I love it, and I love its characters. I love its story so much, and so I wanted to see something decent. But again, I didn't go in wanting to hate it. I didn't go in wanting to love it. I just watched it, and I was severely disappointed, and a lot of that came from changing what the core of the characters were. And if some people are okay with that, they're okay with that, you know. But to me, like, you know, Spike, Vicious, these characters, they're not like Batman where you can just change like all these, like how, you know, Adam West Batman and Michael Keaton Batman and Ben Affleck Batman, they're all radically different. And, you know, because different interpretations, because comics have always had different writers and whatever. I don't feel like Cowboy Bebop is the same thing. You can't just fundamentally change who the characters are, at least in my opinion, and that's what ruined it for me. But let me know what you guys think about this news. I know that you guys probably are not shocked, but considering the fact that I have been covering coverage of and information of this Cowboy Bebop live action for months now, I thought it only right that I kind of like put the cap on it and cover the fact that it was canceled. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments about it. Are you happy about it? Are you disappointed about it? Are you, you know, and like, what did you think of the series overall if you finished it? I made it about 6 episodes. I was trying really hard. I was trying to finish it because I wanted to do like a full review. I really did. That was my plan. My plan from the beginning was like, I'm going to review this episode by episode. Then after episode 1, I was like, I don't think I can do this. And then I watched episode 2 and 3. I talked about that, and then I was going to do the rest. I was going to do like a final video, but I only made it 6 episodes in, and I just can't do it anymore. So let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Appreciate it, guys. I also, if you are unaware, I am dealing with the strikes right now from the YouTube system. So channel's a little bit in jeopardy at the moment. So if you could give this video a like and comment to help it in the algorithm, help me out. Also, if you want to support the channel on a different level, there's the Patreon and merch store down below, because that will help me out as well, because future of the channel is kind of up in the air. I think it'll be okay, but you never really can tell with this. There's a lot of crazy shit going on right now. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you next time.